Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the law of attraction, manifesting success stories show comes in. If you are ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to this episode. I am your host, Cassie Parks, and I am back with the wonderful K8 for Wellness. Welcome, Kate.
Hi, Cassie. Thank you for having me again.
Of course. I'm so excited.
Me too.
I'm excited to continue this journey. And I want to start. Normally, I would ask you what's awesome, but I'm going to say what's awesome today. And that is that it was just about, it was 20 days ago, to be exact, that it was your third year anniversary of us working together.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's only been 3 years.
I know. Sometimes, I like count on my fingers. I'm like, only 3 years. Okay.
Yeah. It's funny because it feels longer, but then other times it doesn't. Like when I think I say this every time. It feels like we've been working together longer because of all the healing and all the growing I've done. But when you think about 3 years, isn't that long?
It's not. And you get to that. It's funny. The longer that you're in the enchanted circle, the longer you see it that way.
Yes.
Right. It was funny because I was coaching someone this morning and I'm like, she's like, I'm going slow. I'm like, are you? I'm like, I said 5 months compared to 16 years. We're not moving slow. We're moving very fast.
Yeah, no kidding. When you think of it that way. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say, how would you describe your growth in the last 3 years?
That's a good one. I think it was so fast in the beginning, like leaps and bounds in the beginning.
Yes.
It was so fast. Now it's very subtle, and very, very subtle. And I think the only way that I notice things is if I really, really analyze. That's how subtle things are for me. But I think I've said this many times too, is that it's just deeper levels. It's just going deeper. And those, now that I've kind of gotten rid of a lot of the surface stuff, the big stuff, now it's, just fine tuning basically is how I would say that. Yeah.
Amazing. That's awesome. Yeah. Is that similar or different to how you would describe someone's journey, like your fit journey and your health journey? Does it follow the same pattern or is it slower up front and quicker at the end? Or not at the end, but you know what I mean?
I feel that it's always slow with my healing, my fitness.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's not. I mean, 8 years isn't slow, right?
No.
It's not that long ago.
Yeah.
I would, you know what? Yeah. I think I would have to say it's the same because even when I first started doing, taking a lot of stuff out, I did heal pretty quickly, but there was still some residual stuff. So yeah, I think you're right. I think it would definitely coincide with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Because when we take away, which is what you're talking about doing when you started your healing journey, right? Taking out all the preservatives, all the things, I'm sure, and maybe other things, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing we start doing in the beginning of this work. We start taking out all the stories.
Yeah.
And so there's like immediate shift because we're immediately looking at the world different.
That's great. Yes.
Yeah. And then there's that part where we're continuing to grow and release, which is the same as, you're continuing to release all that stuff once there's space in your body to, not be processing new stuff. It can release the old stuff.
Absolutely. That's great. That's a great analogy and it's a great way to look at it. I never thought of it that way, but yes.
Cool.
Yeah, because it's not just the food, it's also your thoughts. Right?
Yeah. Tell us more.
Yeah. So I think a lot of that, I can't say that. I can't do something and just look at it just for kind of, how can I explain this? So when we work on manifesting and we work on, being our future self, it's not just that, it's also with my relationships. It's also with my health. It's also, all of it is connected.
Yeah. It's not just, I think what you're trying to say is it's not just about the money your future self has.
Right.
It's about the whole life and all
the whole package. Yes.
Yeah.
And so you have to look at all the others too. Not just the money piece.
Yes.
Because to me, money is energy. And I think that energy, is everything. So it's the relationships, it's the, the health, it's getting it, just getting into shape and all of that stuff I feel is energy. So it's all connected. I kind of apply whatever I learn with you to everything else too. So
amazing.
It's not just one thing.
It isn't, because it's up leveling all of ours. We can't be up the ladder on one thing and the other things, or we won't feel in alignment and we won't attract the things we want.
Right. Agreed. Yep.
Amazing. I love that. All right. Well, let's talk about evidence. What's the coolest piece of evidence that you've gathered since our last interview?
I love my girlfriend has been looking for a home, and they found one, and it was just amazing how it unfolded for them. And it was so easy for them. So she's like, I know this is the right thing. And so she sends me a picture of her garage, and in the garage, there's a whole, it's almost like an in-law apartment in the garage. And I don't know if I mentioned this on the other one, but we're looking to build a garage home. And because we love being in our garage and we love our toys, and we want to be able to see our toys in our garage and our home. So there's that. And then there was one other piece of evidence where I had gone to a restaurant downtown Milford, and there was a motorcycle, and actually the same exact motorcycle that David has, in the diner.
I love this story. Yes.
I can't remember if I shared it or not. And I took a picture of it and I sent it to him, and he goes to David, he goes, that's something we would do. And he goes, as a matter of fact, it is something we're going to do. And I was like, I know. So I said, this is evidence that it's going to work. So I forgot to put that in that question too. So those two pieces of evidence are like the best ever.
That is amazing. I love it.
I love that too.
Amazing.
All fun.
It is so fun. How do you know that it's happening, other than, that great evidence of seeing a motorcycle inside?
I know, right? How do I know? I'm just constantly reminded of it every day. I'm getting paid to work out, basically. I get to work out, train for my ride. I've got all this amazing product being sent to me that lets me know, that it's happening. Just the amazing people that I have been surrounded by in the cycling community that are making things happen, helping me make this stuff happen. Just what it takes behind the scenes to make what's going to happen in June. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening. And I'm reminded of it every day, which is so humbling. And so, I wake up grateful every day. There are 6 hours ahead of me. So I wake up to a bunch of things to catch up on that I need to do for the day. And it's just, and I love it. I can't wait to get through my doing my morning rituals so I can start reading all that stuff. I was like, oh, what's exciting today? I get so excited about that.
Yeah.
I love so much that. So that I forget to do my work sometimes in the morning.
Oops.
Our work in the morning.
Yes. We'll come to that.
I just threw myself under the bus there. So yeah, it's that stuff has just been so fun and just so, I get so wrapped up in it. It's a blast. These guys are just amazing. So that lets me know that it's definitely happening. Lots of correspondence. Our realtor has reached out to people in the area that have land that have nothing on it. And she has gotten an 80% response. And she said it's the biggest response she has ever had in, stuff that she sent out of people saying, yeah, we'll sell our land. Sure. They can come look at it. And it's all in this area. which is really
awesome. Cool. Yes.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of it's happening here.
Yes, of course there is.
I could do the whole episode on it. What else do you want to know? I can share more. But yeah, it's overwhelming. It's happening, which is great.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Two things. I want you to share what is happening in June. I know, but I don't think we've shared with listeners. So give us just kind of the 411 on your ride and what's all happening and unfolding.
Yeah. So I was going to do the Trans-American Bike Race in real life. And with all the uncertainties from state to state, it just was too much for me in February, they decided that they were going to have it. And at that point, when I went to go order a bike, we're 6 to 8 months out. So there was no way I was going to get a bike in time. And my bike that I have could make it, but I needed parts for it. And I didn't even know if the parts were going to come in on time. So that was kind of a bit upsetting at first. I was really upset about that. And in the midst of all that, there's this community that I ride with that's called RGT. And they all knew that's why I was there. Why are you here? What are you doing? What are you training for? They saw all the hours I was putting in. So I can't jump on a ride without somebody knowing that this is what I'm doing. So I feel like a mayor sometimes when I'm like, okay. I can't ride without somebody talking to me, which is great. I love it.
Yeah.
So I had voiced it to my team. They had recruited me to do some racing with them. And I had voiced it. I was really bummed. And they're like, you're really quiet today. What's going on? And I said, well, I heard this and that. And they're like, oh, one of them works for RGT. And he's like, why don't we just have it on the platform? I was like, what? He was like, yeah, why don't we just do it on the platform? I'm like, oh my God, really? Are you sure? And he goes, yeah. He goes, this is what would need to be done. And it was just so much to take in. I didn't know, I was like, okay, let me think about this. Do I want to be in four walls that long on a bike? I was like, I could be out in nature and do that, but I don't know if I could do it in four walls. So I sat on it. I talked to David that night and he's like, I would love that. He goes, I would never tell you not to do something. He goes, but with everything that's going on, if your bike broke down, you would be stuck out there for 4 months until the part came in. He's like, I would never tell you not to. He goes, but I think you should do it here. He goes, that to me, I would feel safer.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that he would have supported me either way. Even if I'd gone, he would have never said, I don't want you to go. So it just all started falling into place, literally falling into place. And in just a couple of weeks, it was all taken care of. It's happening. It's going to happen. So June 6th, we're starting on the actual race day. And I'm starting the actual time they're starting, and I'm riding the actual roads they're riding. So, but virtually.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So these guys behind the scenes are creating those roads for me, which is really cool.
Yeah. And a huge testament to your future self that everything she's orchestrating all of these things for you. You step into her and things happen.
Yep. And the speakers that are coming out are amazing. The speakers that want to talk, athletes that are well known in the community. The community that I ride with, the RGT community, there's over 8,500 people. When I posted it in RGT, the response, Cassie, that I got from that community was amazing. It's still the lady that runs the Facebook. She goes, your post is the one that's had the most interaction with in all of RGT's history. She's like, you're going to do something. This is huge. And so, I thought that was great. And the fact that now that it's going to be virtual, I've decided I'm going to get the fastest time. I'm going to shoot for the fastest time. So if I'm going to do this virtually, I need to have a goal and I need to make it a good one. And so I looked up the fastest time. It was 18 days and 10 hours. Let me say that again. 18 days and 10 minutes. So I want to go faster than that. Granted, it's not apples to apples. I know that, but it's definitely, no one's done it on a trainer. So I'm going to set it for that. And next year, when I'll know of what to expect when I do the 15 days instead of 17 days.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
I love that. And again, it just ties into so much of what we talked about with your book on the last episode. What you wanted was to be known.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to write the book. You had to follow inspiration to become known. and step into your future self, right? And this is it. Like deciding to do this ride, all of the things that you chose before it. Like I'm going to show, that you can do this ride and you can be carnivore and debunk a lot of things that are out there and really just show up as you. And what you're so passionate about has led to, of course, something amazing is like, this is a whole event. You just created your whole event, right?
I did.
So we used to talk about one of the first things was, being like speaking at like either, I think it was Paleo FX, right?
FX, yep.
Yeah. Well, no, now people are going to be speaking around you and you're basically going to hold the event. Like you're the main event.
I'm the main event and they're coming to my show to talk.
Yes. That's amazing.
It is amazing. This is the next step. You're right.
It is. Yeah.
It's been fun to see how it's just unfolded and it hasn't felt like work. It's if I'm not on the trainer and I'm not seeing clients, that's what I'm doing is reaching out to sponsors and reaching out to speakers. And it's just been amazing. Really amazing.
Oh, I love it. Okay, let's switch gears for just a little bit. One of the things that you said, like, was coaching that clicked was that even, there are ways to do the work and it doesn't have to look like assignments or it doesn't have to look the same every day is actually what you said. So talk to us about that.
Yeah. So I was, I think, was it a couple months ago? Might have been a couple months ago. I was training to do this new position on the side of what I'm doing. And I kind of let everything go when I did that. And you told me, you could definitely change that story. You know what you need to do for that. And you were right. I just needed to hear that. And I snapped out of it and got back into my ritual. That point, I felt guilty because I knew that wasn't the right way to go about doing what I was doing. I felt guilty. Yeah. And I always do my work. I love doing my work, regardless if I, do my writing or I haven't scripted since I rejoined. So I haven't scripted, but I'll do the assignments on Kajabi, but I wasn't doing them at that point. I also feel at that point too, because I wasn't working out. I mean, I just let a lot of stuff that meant the most to me go. This time I haven't. I still do, what means the most. I still get up. I do my meditation. I do all that. But I am, now that I'm not in Kajabi doing the work, I am very mindful of the choices that I make and how I talk to myself and how I talk about myself, which in the past I never did that. I always would beat myself up about it, or I would always feel guilty. I would, I think it made the situation a lot worse. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
This time around, because I do have it here in my calendar. I wish you could read, but I always have here, 5:00, I meditate and I do my writing. 5:30, my Cassie work and my visualization is what is always here on my 5:30 time slot. I do the visualization and then I haven't gotten to my Cassie work because when I do my visualization, I sometimes fall back to sleep. Which I should flip them around. So that's what I was saying. Like, it doesn't always have to be the same. I don't feel guilty about it because I know that I'm very aware of everything that's going on, because I'll say, okay, is that inspired or are you forcing that? And so I'm still doing the work, but I'm not doing the deep work. And the deep work is doing the assignments. So it makes it almost, I guess, I don't want to say it's a standstill. It's just I'm not digging deeper into the layers that I need to be digging into because I'm not doing my Kajabi work, my daily assignments. So I've just kind of said, okay, Kate, you need to start doing that again. I'm not feeling guilty about it. It didn't even cross my mind until I filled out the questionnaire. I was like, oh, okay. Yep. That obviously it's popping up. It's something I am now noticing. So yeah, I think I should start doing that again because that feels good. And not because if I don't do it, my future self isn't going to come. That's not why. And in the past, that's what I would do.
Yes. There's so many nuggets here I want to share with listeners. So first off, I believe, and everybody, most people don't hear this until they're ready, but the reason we get in touch with our future self and we become her, like once we tap into that moment where she exists, she starts pulling the strings, right? And sometimes we don't get to choose where they go. And sometimes that is not doing the work so you can have the conversation about, like, so you can do it differently, because that is stepping into your future self. She's not, if she takes a break because she goes on a month-long ride, she's definitely not beating herself up because she's not doing her assignments every day, right? And so, you know, we get these opportunities to do the work in between the work. And that's what's happening, right? Learning not to beat yourself up about, first and foremost, I think you've learned this, I'm going to say it for other people, feeling guilty and making yourself feel bad about doing the work never gets you back to the work faster. Ever. Never. It never works.
Does.
Right?
Never works.
And so surrendering and being okay, number one, to where you are, but being open to what else am I learning or how else am I growing that is going to make the work better when I go back. Like even you said, you know, I'm not doing the digging in, and I would disagree with that as your coach. I think that learning this space is digging in. It's just, it's not checking a box, but it is changing the way your thoughts are so that when you come back to the work, so that, you know, because I think you're on the back half of Manifest 10K, when you finish that and you go into the Future Self Workshop, you take this upgraded current self version with you so that we can see even further into your future self.
Right. Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I do think about the last times that's happened, and it didn't get me there faster, for sure. If anything, it pushed me further, right?
Yeah.
But it's great that I haven't felt that way this time, which is really cool, because you're right. It is my future self, because my future self is going to take this, you know, month off to go bike riding, and we'll go do other adventures. And yeah, that's a great way of looking at that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I love it. So you're going into, you started year 4, which, what an amazing space to start year 4, because if you are a little bit newer, you haven't listened to Kate's journey all the way through, you can go to my website and find that. But in the beginning, you pushed, like I had to be like, stop doing this. Like, you cannot do more than 1 assignment a day. And it was like, before I could even say it, I think you'd done like 10 assignments.
Yeah. Gotta do more.
And so I want to celebrate even that you're in this place where you can leave that space in between assignments. Like for me, that is, it's not a dollar amount. I love that you've manifested like close to $270,000. And that's awesome. And what's just as awesome for me as a coach is that you don't push anymore. You have this space to grow into, because we're really not growing when we're pushing. Exactly. Yeah.
That I know for sure. Past experiences.
Right?
Yes.
So what would you like to celebrate, and what are you excited about as you begin year 4 in this journey?
I would love to celebrate the new future me, because I feel that the past workshops that I did of my future self, I'm already her.
Yeah.
I didn't look far enough ahead, and I want to look further ahead. So I'm excited for that. I want to celebrate that. I want to celebrate that I am my future self that I was not 3 years ago that I envisioned to be. No. That's exciting too, because I see a lot of the stuff that we talked about and the stuff that I've scripted about is already in my life. It wasn't that far away. So it's good to know what that feels like, and to know that I can reach further and look further ahead than what I did before. So I'm excited for that. I'm really excited to know more about my future self.
Yay.
Really excited. Yeah.
Me too. Anything else you want to make sure to share today?
Nothing's coming to mind. Usually I have like a mouthful to say. Nothing's coming to mind this time.
I love it. Space. It's awesome. I mean, we've said so much that, you know, people just need to take in this interview and the last interview. You know, what that space and following inspiration, how it gets you where you're going a lot faster.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah, amazing. Tell everybody where they can connect with you.
You can connect with me on all social medias, Instagram, Facebook, and my website. It's K8 for Wellness. It's the letter K, the number 8, and the number 4 Wellness.
Awesome. I'm going to put you on the spot because I just had an inspiration. I'm going to work on working out. When is your ride?
My ride is June 6th.
Okay. And so where could people connect with you then?
Yeah. So if you follow me on those social media places, you'll see it. There's a K8 does Tabor. So it's K and the number 8 does TABR. So that's the Trans-American Bike Race is what that stands for. And that's my Facebook page. And so it'll have all the links that they can talk to me, ride with me. They can do all that stuff with me if they want during my race.
Yay. Awesome. Well, we'll see if we can get this out at that time. If not, definitely go check out Kate anyway on all her social medias and see how her ride went. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Cassie.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you all for listening. Come back and check out what else is awesome in Kate's life next time.
Thank you for joining us on the Law of Attraction Manifesting Success Stories show. To learn how to attract more money into your life, go to your favorite book retailer and order Cassie's book, Manifest $10,000.